I feel like a talk show host. I got a set.
You do have a set.
It's weird.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. You guys, man, I love y'all.
It's not
Love you
weird
too.
or it's not weird or crazy. It's beautiful. And
Thank you. Yes.
divine order.
Yes, ma'am. That's why you're my friend.
Good. Feeling good?
I should have on black background music, huh?
Send it to me.
Let's do that. That will make me feel more comfortable.
Yeah, Omitosin, that's her name.
I got disco
Yeah,
vibes.
Omitosin, that's her name.
It's not
I feel
Maxwell.
so good out here.
It's
Like,
right.
I feel so good.
Yay! I'm so glad. The evolution of gathering. Why is Maxwell skipping? Maxwell's not even on my phone. Okay.
Because Maxwell's only supposed to be played on CD and you know better.
That's so real. Are we live? Oh, I didn't know. You're supposed to tell me these things. I'm just trying to cue up this background music. You're live. Okay. Hi. I am queuing up the music because I didn't know we were live. But it's all good. Oh, this has been playing this whole time. I'm mad. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait. I'm going to hit y'all with some Lonnie Liston Smith for your black background listening pleasure.
Wonderful.
Background music.
Right.
Background music.
Background.
I thought that was a Freudian slip. Oh, I have a mic. Mic on. My MC, my inner MC wants to come out. Hey. My Omi says, no. Good morning.
Good morning.
There's one more person that was here than last week. That's good so far. My name is Omitosin. My pronoun is Omi. We have to do this for every Zoom call. Name, pronoun, access needs. Help me, Lexi. Name, pronoun, access needs, and whatever you want to share. So my name is Omitosin. My name is Omi. Yeah, and I'm the best. Y'all remember that? I'm being silly this morning because I feel so good. I feel really, really blessed in my life. I feel really, really blessed just to be in the CD on a sunny Sunday morning around people that I love. My life is good, man. Life is super good. Is that music too loud, you think? Oh, Tarek stepped away. So, how y'all doing? How was your week? The whole week? My week was rough before the full moon. I'ma just tell you. That full moon kicked my whole entire ass. I said I wasn't gonna cuss. Dang it. I was gonna wear this T-shirt today that said I'm classy, but I cuss a little, cause I can't. Yeah. Anyway, the full moon was such a release for me. Now it's too loud for me. It's supposed to be background music. There we go. It was a release for me because I got to shed some shit that I have been holding on to, insecurity, self-worth issues, self-doubt, feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling like I was going crazy. Y'all, listen. And then the full moon came, and I was with my partners I didn't realize that we talked on the night of the full moon. So we had this really hard, healing conversation about the past and letting things go, and we released it on the full moon, and I feel so light. I feel so much better. Like, it was like all it took was acknowledgement that I was having issues, because, and this is what I'm gonna talk about today. This is like good segue, and I'm just running my mouth. I had to deal with my shadow self. All the dark childhood, I'm not smart enough, pretty enough, good enough, skinny enough. You know, my nickname in my family with my cousin was Meatball because my cousin was skinny. And it carried over. And I wasn't even a chunky kid, but I was chunkier than her. And so we played together. And so my cousins thought it was cute to call me Spaghetti and Meatball, which my aunt was like, "Aw,
Right.
the hell kind of trauma? Why I gotta be the meatball?"
Because you're juicy.
I wasn't, but I wasn't. That was the thing. I wasn't even juicy. But because she said that, what went through my mind is I'm fat, I'm not attractive, and, you know, all of that. And then I manifested that. I was at my heaviest, 263 pounds. And I recognized that as I started doing my healing work, and as I started like moving into my adult life, I started shedding stuff. And then I just recognized that I lost 50 pounds like when I released a bad relationship. It was like, oh, this is real. Because you say you lose weight. I don't say lose weight anymore because you don't lose weight. You can find something that you lost. If you release it, it's gone. It's done. So anyway, I want to start this off like we always start this off for those of you who are seeing me for the first time or coming to it for the first time. My name's Omi. I'm an Ifa priest, spiritual advisor, life coach, spiritual curator. And what that means is I learned in 53 years of life, I have learned all these different healing modalities based on me trying to fix all my bullshit. Damn, I keep cussing. Okay, I give it up. I just let it roll. You just let it roll. Just let it roll. Yeah, so they're expletives. If your children are watching, don't do what auntie do. Do what auntie say. But we start with the ancestors in the Ifa tradition. We honor the people and the spirits and the entities and the deities and the angels, guardians, and guides that came before we all came and who have led us to this right now beautiful moment on this sunny afternoon in Seattle. And if you're not in Seattle, wherever you're at, the weather is whatever it is for a reason. If it's raining, flowers might need water. So, I'm not supposed to turn my back, but I'm turning my back. I think I should put this here. Water. I'm gonna use my bottled water. Forgive my hood water vessel. It works. Should have did that beforehand. First of all, yeah, let's take some deep breaths together. So I can get grounded, so you can get grounded, so we can be in the space spiritually together. All right, let's inhale and gently exhale. Again, inhale really big and gently exhale. And once more, inhale in light, inhale goodness, inhale your blessings, inhale the breath that gives you life, and gently exhale. I give Omi Tutu, Ile Tutu, Tutu Ori, Tutu Egun, Tutu Laroye. We give thanks and praise to all of those ancestors who walk with us, all those ancestors who protect us, all those ancestors whose path we are walking, all those ancestors who we have reincarnated as on this earthly plane, all those ancestors who speak to us in the night, all those ancestors who show us our light side and our dark side, all those ancestors who we try to emulate, who we come through, who we get our personality personalities and spirit from. We give thanks to those who died so that we could be in this space, in this right now moment together. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Ooh. I felt that. Yeah, so I started, when you are having these cleansing conversations and releasing and, fixing your karma, if you will, burning off karma. Let me preface that by saying, I grew up, I've always been kind of a light bearer and feeling like I should, always be wearing white and everything I did was good. And as long as I'm smiling and being kind to people and paying it forward and, hugging the babies and all that kind of stuff, that I was going to just be blessed and that I was just going to be, float through my life as a light being. And then I learned that I am super insecure and my ego can get out of control, and that I am traumatized from childhood, and that I have issues with women, and I have issues with not so much men, but issues of abandonment, and and then I had to discover what made me an asshole. Now, I know, that's a strong word, but in OIDSI, the Obafemi Institute for the Divine Study of Ifa, which I'm a priest and a senior priest, there's a class that you take before you can become a priest called Road to Priesthood. And the first class, the first assignment they give you is, how do you know when you're being an asshole? When you had to write an essay. Because you can't know what's good and light and beautiful until you know what's real jacked up. Until you know what things that you do to be petty and messy and angry and violent and, quick-tempered, judgmental, jealous, envious, all the things. Like, you can't teach somebody about how to not be jealous if you don't have jealousy in your body. I'm just saying. Yanla used to say, if you spot it, you got it. She'd stand in front of the class and she'd be telling a story about some foul thing that she did and how she elevated past it. And she was like, I know I am not the only bitch in the room. And she was like, so from now on, if somebody's up here talking about an experience or sharing or whatever, if it's in the room, it's in the room. So raise your hand to acknowledge that is you showing up to yourself in order to heal that thing in you, because you might not even know that you're being a jerk. You might not know, like, there are things that I say I don't even realize hurt people's feelings, and I'm just talking. I'm like, how's that hurt your feelings? What's wrong with you? Right? I was just playing. But it really, I had to learn to really watch my mouth. And, I slipped, obviously. But I'm trying to be real mindful of not letting my words, because in Ifa, there's a word called Afo Ashe, which I say it all the time. It means your words manifest. And every word is a prayer. So, literally, if you say, I am so sick and tired, and I use this example all the time, you're going to get sick and tired of something. Or literally sick. Words manifest. So, I took notes. I'm going to be all over the place because I have notes and paper and books, and I really started getting into this with myself, right? Because I feel so good, and I was like, okay, me feeling this good means I can look at parts of myself that I don't like without judgment and without beating myself up and without feeling bad about it. Because, when you're depressed and then you start thinking about all your stuff, and then it just goes, it's a spiral to hell. That is hell. in its definition. You know, we talk about heaven and hell. Hell is when you are in that pit of depression and frustration, and then you start thinking about all the things you didn't do right, and all the things you should have said, and all the things that you mistakes that you think you made, and things you judge yourself about, and you just, that's hell. Because some people can't get out of that. You know, you get stuck there. You got this loop running in your head like, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person. And then you start doing bad person stuff. So, be mindful of the words. So your shadow self, by definition, shadow is the shape of a body coming in between rays of light and a surface. So if you think about that, like metaphysically, like literally, you can see the shadow. Well, y'all can't see it. These people can see it. See, if you were here, sitting with us, you can see the shadows, but you're not here, you're at home, so make up your own shadow. The sun reflecting on something. Was that rude? Sorry. See, I told you, I just be talking. That's the Iyanla in me coming out, and not rude, but she's just real, like, get it together, not on my watch, you know. And then she comes up. Anyway, shadow. So a shadow is the sun's light shining on your body, reflecting the light and the dark at the same time, because the surface has to be dark for the light to show a shadow on it, right? So your shadow self is you trying to get that light that's going to heal all of the dark bullshit that's in your spirit and your body and all the things that you do and say and all of that. So it's hidden aspects of yourself, suppressed emotions, and then shadow work is actually healing those things. So looking at yourself and knowing the things that you do in your spirit. Because I know, look, I'm a very spiritual person, and I have so much, like, abundant, infinite love, right? But every now and then, I get a little petty. Especially if you hurt my feelings with somebody I love. Oh, I'm thinking about the nastiest, pettiest, most gut-butter thing I can say to you to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Right? And I don't really have a cutting, like some people will say some stuff that will just, and you just bleed out, right? Mine is more like, I'm gonna make you think about the bullshit that you said or did in your life so you can see yourself. I'm gonna make you see yourself in its realness, maybe with a little vinegar on it. You know what I mean? And that's not the way you walk through life. It's just being petty, because pettiness leads to, it's judgment. You know what I'm saying? My nephew, I have twin nephews. My nephew Khalil is the most honest person I know. He will give it to you straight. He don't have no filter. He's a very special, gifted child. Both of the twins are, but he's very in tune with himself. And he was like 4. And we got on the elevator, and this really big woman, she probably was about 450, got on the elevator with us. And he looked at her, and he looked at me, and he looked at her again, and he said, "Why are you fat?" Horrified. Can I tell you how horrified I was? I didn't even know what to say to this woman. And she was so sweet and endearing, because she stopped, she looked down at him, she said, "Well," she said, "I'm fat because I really like food." And she said, "Do you like food?" And he said, "Yep." She was like, "My advice to you is don't eat too much food and you won't be fat." And that was like, and he was like, okay. He wasn't trying to be mean or spiteful. He really wanted to know, like, wow, how'd you get that big, right? And then he said, and then we got off the elevator. He was like, "TT, you're not fat." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "You should probably eat more." And it made my whole day. I was like, okay. So, kids don't get, we adults give them that fat is bad. Media gives you that. fat is bad. The pharmaceutical companies give you fat is bad. You need to take this pill. You need to get this stomach stapled. You need to get a lipo. You need to. I got a belly, and there it is. If you like it, rub it. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm not going to try to kill myself, starve myself, suck it out. Like, I did say I was going to suck it out and put it up here, but that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, I'm silly today, so please bear with me. Shadow self. I'm silly because I'm happy. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. So, where'd my notes go? Okay. Oh, I found this little jewel. Something to think about. This says, and this is by Carl Jung, who is a Swiss psychologist who talks about dreams and, other visions and that kind of thing, right? And sleep studies. He studied dreams, but he said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That blew my mind. I was like, until you call the, I want to say it backwards. Until you make the unconscious, meaning the thing that's inside you, bring it to the surface, what's above, as above, so below, is that how that goes? Until you bring it to the surface, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. It's you will call it fate part that made me be like, oh, that hurt a little. Because it's not fate. I don't believe in fate, really. Because you can manifest anything you want in this life. I am living proof that you can manifest anything that you want in your life. Now, that all depends on how big you think and how big your goals and imaginations are, right? Because, I'm the co-director. Oh, I forgot to give my little shameless plug. I am now co-director of Gathering Roots Wellness and Retreat Center. It's a wellness and retreat center that is being designed, planned, built, and manifested by a group of wonderful people who are like really committed to healing intergenerational trauma between black and brown people. Yeah, it's so dope. If you would have asked me a year ago if I was going to be an owner of a nonprofit purchasing a multi-million-dollar property to help heal my people, I'd be like, you playing. Quit playing. I'm going to give me a little house and have a healing space. I'm going to do Reiki. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to teach little classes. And Spirit was like, nah, you got to think bigger, dog. So my meditations were like, it wasn't that I thought of the property or the money or the gift or the land or anything like that. What I said was, I want to have a place where I can be my highest, biggest, best self and help people be their highest, biggest, best self no matter what it looks like. And whoa, my subconscious was like, okay, you're going to farm, you're going to grow medicinal herbs and mushrooms, you're going to have hemp, you're going to partner with these people that you are building a family and relationship with, you're going and but in order to get to this place, I had to recognize that I had a really bad relationship with money. I had a scarcity mentality. I was judgmental of people who were doing better than me. I was jealous of those people who were getting there faster than me. I was looking at websites of healers that got the website and they going on tours and they're speaking. And I was like, I could do that. Right? I could do that. And then I just started making it up. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to just fake it till I make it. Hence, Sunday service. I mean, really. I'm just being completely transparent and honest. Like, it's not a need for me to be up here showing y'all out, even though I'm cute when I do it. It's more so that spirit is practical, right? Spirituality and elevation and ascension is practical, because you read all these woo-woo books and they're like, oh, if you meditate for hours on end and you eat a vegan diet and you drink alkaline water and all of these things that you're going to ascend to some higher level of yourself. No, deal with your bullshit and then manifest something better. So, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. But you don't know what you don't know until you know it. So all those little criticisms that your friends be like, girl, you talk too much. Girl, it might not be coming from a good place, but you might want to listen. You know, there's a saying that says, if one person tells you a horse, you can kind of question it. If two people tell you a horse, you might want to be like, let me see if I, got some horse tendencies, right? If three people tell you a horse, you got hay hanging out your mouth and a tail. Get to the root of the horseness, right? So, there's something to be said for those little things that hurt your feelings that people say to you or about you, because there's a little bit of truth in it. There's a little bit of truth in it. I'm a spoiled princess. I ran from that my whole life. And then I recognized I'm a spoiled princess because that's the way I was raised. My mother showered me with stuff. She showered me with stuff. She would give and I know she was a giving, loving person. So it came from a pure place, but it was ridiculous because it became manipulation. Like, I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks, so I need you to be cool with that. So because I'm out, I'm going to give you $500 and the car and the house. This is when I'm like 17 years old. You need a car and a house. Here's the checkbook for the bills. I'll be gone. Make sure and I had to take care of me and my brother. And we had a housekeeper who came and cleaned up, took care of my brother, then she left at night, and then I kicked it. You know what I'm saying? For 2 weeks out of every month from my 8th grade till I went to college. So I'm super independent. And, like I said, I'm a spoiled princess. So I had to get to the root of that and how that shows up in my life. Shadow work. Princess says, I never look down on people, but I will always have the things that will make me comfortable. If I come to your house and I go to your bathroom and your bathroom is not clean and your toilet looks a little suspect, I'm going to get my own sanitizing wipes out of my purse. I'm going to wipe that thing down. Real talk. Y'all think I'm playing. Or I will coat that thing in a whole bunch of toilet paper because your germs cannot touch this princess behind. I'm sorry. Ew. But I cleaned it up. And, I would, be judging, but not, but not being like, oh, your bathroom is nasty. I'd be like, oh, your bathroom is nasty. I can't use it. Let me clean it up so I can feel more comfortable. Went to Africa, had a backpack with everything you could think of in it. And they laughed at me. My god sister was like, why did you bring all this shit? And I'm struggling with the backpack because it weighs 50 pounds on my back, right? Pepto-Bismol, all the things, right? By day 3, they was asking for something from my bag. You got some allergy eye drops? Of course I do. Which, how about this? At first I thought that was good. I'm being nurturing. I'm caring about people. I'm taking care of them. I realized it was my hustle. It was my way of making them like me and come seek me out. How about that? Because if I have everything you need, you're going to come to me to get it. Right? And then it wasn't on some maliciousness. It was on some, let's be friends. Because when I was a little girl, I was the weirdo kid that saw spirits, was talking to, things in the clouds and all that kind of stuff. And nobody wanted to be my friend. So I learned that in order, from my mother showering me with shit, in order to get love and be accepted, I had to just give you things. Crazy, right? How twisted is that? But that's that deep shadow work. Because a person was like, I know that I'm doing this to take care of myself, to make myself comfortable so that I don't have to inconvenience, and this is the other part, inconvenience people with my inconvenience. If there's something that I don't have and I feel like I'm sick or whatever, I don't want to come to you and be like, I think I got diarrhea. You got some medicine? Because my pride and ego is like, I'm not going to never let them see you sweat, which I also learned as a child. If you cry, I'm going to give you something to cry about. Sit here and don't move. Don't shame me. These are our shadow selves. But you got to know the root of a thing to get to how to fix it, right? So it's like, oh, damn. But you have to be really careful when you're doing this shadow work too, that you don't go on too much of a spiral, right? Because then you start thinking about all the things that's wrong, that you think are wrong with you and all the, right? So then that's when you start doing self-forgiveness work, right? Self first. Because you have to forgive yourself for all the stuff that you did. And it's been a while since I did Sunday service, and I probably am repeating myself, but I guess I'm repeating myself because it needs to be heard. A forgiveness journal. I tell my clients, you got issues. You need this. You need to forgive yourself. There's a forgiveness journal. You every night take a regular old notebook. I forgive myself for judging myself as, and fill in the blank. And for whatever thing you was talking about, because we do it every day, right? You have something that you think about yourself like, I'm so stupid. Oh my God, every day there's something. But if you write down those things, write down 7 things. 7 is a divine number, right? And then at the end of that, write 3 things that you appreciate about yourself from that day. And if you do that for you give yourself 10 to 30 days, you'll start to notice you're running out of things to forgive. Because you'll start thinking of the root of why you needed to forgive yourself for that. It's and then you start shedding things, which means you start freeing yourself, which means you're shining light on the shadow. I have all these notes. Whoops. So, Carl Jung said, the shadow consists of those parts of ourselves we choose to repress or hide that we don't like. We do that by pushing them down into our subconscious during childhood. That's what I was just talking about, right? Sometimes you don't even know you're doing it, right? And then you have a temper tantrum, like an adult temper tantrum. Well, sometimes you have a child temper tantrum, falling out on the floor, crying and kicking and screaming. Or you have an adult temper tantrum. You cuss somebody out, top to bottom, back to front, say the most mean, wretched things you possibly say to them. That's a temper tantrum. Or you get really, really drunk and use that as an excuse to just be mean to everybody just because you was feeling petty. Or you're projecting your stuff on other people by telling them about themselves when really you just talking about yourself, but you don't have any other way to express it. So you be like, Brianna, you da-da-da-da-da-da, bop. And you da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And all you really are doing is talking to yourself. Talking to yourself. Examples of shadow aspects. I already talked about these. Selfishness. Well, selfishness, that's a whole nother Oprah show. Because it's a very thin line between being selfless and selfish. And you have to learn the difference between boundaries and then just doing it because you wanted it. And you have to recognize that being selfish about your energy, your space, your time, and creating healthy boundaries keeps you from being that selfish jerk that is just like, I want that just because you have it. Or I'm going to get what you got and better. And I'm going to take advantage of you and learn all that you got so I can do you one up. How many times have you thought that in your life? I sing better than her. I look better than her. I got this and that. It's crazy. And we all do it. That's your shadow dark side. Because where did that come from? Not feeling good enough. And where did that come from? That time you wanted your parents' acceptance. Look, mommy, what I did. And she says, I'm busy right now. I'll look at it later. But not in a loving kind, like, oh, baby, that's nice. I'm busy right now. Let me look at it later. It's like, go away from here. Aggressive impulses, that cussing people out is a real thing. Or saying the meanest thing you can think of to hurt somebody's feelings just because you was having an attitude. Being self-centered. Now, I'm still struggling with being self-centered because as someone who grew, I'm not an only child, but my brother and I are 13 years apart. So I grew up an only child. My whole adolescence was pretty much only child. And then, like I said, my mother would be gone. So it would be me and my brother. So it was just us. So I was like his mama, which made me feel like an only child. Anyway, so I'm used to being the center of the family. Like I was the first child, grandchild, great grandchild. So I was the only kid. So I got, I'm like Leela. I get taken everywhere. Everybody thinks I'm cute. They want to dress me up. They want to show me off. My aunties would take me to the park because the dude would be like, oh, she's so cute. I was that kid. And my mother told me once that I was 5 and I would stand out on our balcony in our apartment. And when men would walk by, I literally would say, my mommy don't got no husband. She's in the house. Yeah, I was that kid. You know what? I wanted my mom to get love. You know what I'm saying? I'm still on my aunties and their husbands and stuff. I'm like, my grandparents were married for 44 years. I wanted my mama to have a husband. And how about this? She ended up having 4 of them. Right? Because there was something in her. You know, my mom was a Scorpio. She was vindictive as hell. She was going to get that ass. And any man that scorned her, please. My father was the first one, And she kept looking for him. And she got me. Because I'm just like my dad. So, self-centered. So, I struggle with what self-centered really means. It's being self-centered or being self-serving. Somebody help me with the difference, because I don't really know the difference. You have anybody?
Self-centered is when you focus solely on your own needs, wants, and nothing around you matters but you. Self-serving is to center things in your universe and have you be the leverage point.
Aha. Ha ha. So that's your ego. You're serving yourself. Like I said, I had to. Okay, for y'all that couldn't hear her in the universe land or whatever. Soma said, self-centered is when everything. Let me make sure I heard you right. Everything is all about you, right? Like everything that you do is like, Brianna, I'm gonna take you to lunch because I know you're gonna pay for it. Like that's real. I had an auntie. I knew when I was in college, she lived in the city that I was at, Aunt Lou Charity. And if I was hungry, I would call her and be like, "Oh, Aunt Lou, let's go to eat," because I knew she was gonna pull that wallet out afterwards. That's so horrible. That's shadow self. That was petty as hell. I took advantage of my auntie, but she loved it. Right? And I would offer. I'd be like, "No, auntie." She was like, "Baby, if you don't put that purse away, okay." I already knew she was gonna pay. I don't think that was too bad, was it? But I mean, that's it served us both. So then self-serving is when the things that you do for self benefit you. I mean, things that you do for other people benefit you first.
I'm gonna take you, like we're gonna go to this restaurant and I may pay, but it's only because I want to go to this restaurant.
Right. Yes. So that's a good example. My grandmother loved to go to Golden Corral after church. Right. In Ohio, they have a place called Ryan's that has those yeast rolls, and we wanted to go to Ryan's, but she insisted that we go to Golden Corral. That was her place because it was all you can eat buffet. We were going there. So one Sunday, I decided I was not going to Golden Corral. So I paid $50 extra, money that I did not really have to spend, just so we could go to Mountain Jack's and have steak. Because I didn't want no Golden Corral. That's self-serving. You're doing something for somebody else, but you also really like doing it for yourself. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to bring you along on my blessing. Crazy. Let me check my time here. Ooh, we good. We are Gucci on time. Oh, we're not supposed to say Gucci no more. What do we say in places? Gumbo. Oh, we gumbo. You know, I like that southern stuff. We gumbo. Yay. Ooh, Tarek, I just got lipstick on the mic. Sorry. Shameful experiences. Let's talk about shame for a second. Man, listen. I think shame could or could not be the number one thing that people deal with that keeps them in darkness. Shame about something. Shame about, I don't know, shame about being molested. Shame about dropping out of school. Shame about not wanting to go to college. Shame about that thing you stole. Man, I have so many stories. Anybody ever steal money out their mama purse? I stole money from my mom's purse because she was gonna give it to me anyway. That was my mind. In my mind, that was it. Like, she was gonna give it to me anyway. Let me not deal with the conversation or the questions about what I wanted for it. Ain't none of your business what I wanted for. I just want it.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. I need that members only jacket that I saw at what was that store? What was the store that was downtown? No, the one that had all the mustard yellow and maroon and green and no, not JW.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Not Jeans West. It was I can see the store. All they had was rayon. It was rayon. It was like that 90s R&B button-up flowy shirt era. J. Jacob. That's what it was. J. Jacob. Ooh wee. I need that mustard yellow dress from J. Jacob. But shame. Shame to me is something shame to me is the weight of judgment or perceived judgment. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, the thing that we are ashamed about, we're only ashamed about it because we were conditioned to believe that we were wrong or bad. And it's somebody else's thing, right? Somebody projecting their shadow on your stuff. You know? And so a lot of, most depression and all that stuff comes from shame. Feeling shameful. You know, my mother was the man go in the store, don't you shame me. And the thought of shaming my mother, I love that I can be here working out through all my shadow childhood stuff with y'all. live and direct. Don't shame me. She said that a million times to me in my life. Don't you shame me. When we get in here, don't you shame me. So, me being in my shadow self at 6 years old, told my auntie who tried to give us deep fried chitlins and say it was chicken, I was like, that smells like boo-boo. Like, there's 20 family members at the table. This smells like boo-boo. My mom was like, stop that. And she was like, don't, just try. And then she would try to be sweet. She was like, just try it. You might like it. I was like, it smells like boo-boo. It had coating, breading. It looked like beer batter, like chicken. It looked like beer batter fish to me. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I was 6 years old. And she was like, Shannon is my birth name. She was like, Shannon, take a bite. Like real quiet. My mom was a Scorpio. She would get you sneaky. She would pinch me under the table. And I'm a Taurus. I'm like, don't pinch me. Right? Which made her even more embarrassed. Because her daughter I had to be buttoned up at all times. And she said, if you don't eat some of this, I'm going to take you to the bathroom and spank your butt. I guess that's what we doing. To this day, not nary a chitlin has ever passed these lips. I took one for the team that day. I was like, and then she was so mad that I opted for the ass whooping that she brought some of them chitlins home. I was like, I was not. I threw that thing away when she went to work because she forgot about it. No. I'm not eating that. It smells like boo-boo. Oh, excuse me for the full moon now. Yeah, man. Don't shame me. Don't do that to your kids. Do not do that to your kids. If you say that was shameful or don't shame me to your children, you're hurting them. Don't do that. Because the worst thing in the world to me was to shame or disappoint my parents. Like, I was a good girl and I did everything right. That's the Virgo in me. Everything was in order. And my mother was like, if you shame me, I'm going to get you. You know, Lexi and I were just talking about how our parents used to do those terrorizing spankings. Like, that was terrorist tactics. To be in the car, you know you acted a fool in the store, you're in the car, and your mom says, I'm going to whoop your ass when we get home. Now it's all on your mind that you're about to get beat down.
I know exactly
We're right. When we get home. So you're assuming as soon as we walk in the door, it's going down. My mother would say, get ready for bed. Run the bath, get my pajamas out. She'd be in the kitchen, putzing around, She was like, you don't have to go to bed. Just, put your pajamas on or whatever. She act like nothing ever happened. She buzzing around. She's in the kitchen. She's doing her thing, right? I'm in the bed. I'm in my room sweating. Anticipate, like everything I heard was her coming up the hallway, right? She ain't thinking about me. She's in the garage. She would come up. I know she did it on purpose. She would come up the hallway and stop or go in the other room because my room was at the end of the hallway, or go to the room next to my room just to mess with me. I knew she did it in my childhood mind. She probably wouldn't even think about me. Go to bed. And it would usually happen on a week. If it was on a weekend, go to bed, wake up Saturday morning. Oh, I ain't slept because I'm waiting on her to come in the middle of the night with the belt, because my mom was a belt whooper. And I was like, in my bed, like, everything I heard was her coming. Because she did that once. She came and whooped me up my bed. Because she was like, oh, you thought I forgot. See, all that psychological torture, that's terrible to do to your children. She would wait till the next day when I thought I was in the clear. You don't think I forgot about your ass whooping? Get in the room. Reverential fear. That's on this list. Just the fear that, and it's like, yeah, they want to break you, or, I've heard somebody, I got to break them. Don't break your son. What do you mean break him? He got to know that I'm the boss. He knows you're the boss. He's going to try you. At puberty, when them hormones kick in, little girls and little boys, if you ever watch the show Big Mouth, it's the most disgusting, perverted show on television. It's so bad, but it's so funny. I couldn't stop watching it. It's a cartoon, and it's an adult cartoon, about these kids who are going through puberty. And they don't miss nothing, from like getting pubic hair to starting your cycle to, like, they cover the whole gambit of topics, right? And they have a hormone monster, and the hormone monster kicks in and makes them do all that's their shadow self. Kicks in to make them do the bad stuff, right? Grab her booty. You know you want to grab it. Go ahead, grab it. She ain't gonna say nothing. Just grab it. Right? Because you're hormonal. You're like, ooh, booty. Right? That's your childhood shadow self. The hormones kick in. You have no control. No control. But then your parents make you feel like shameful. I got molested. And I told the person's mother, and she called me fast. I was 8 years old. She was like, nah, you just fast. Don't. What? Fast? What does that even mean? I'm playing with Barbies. What are you talking about? And I talk about this stuff not in jest, but I've released it because I dealt with it, and the shame of it, and the feeling certain ways about it, and, the judgments that people and I had put on myself about it, and all the things, when really I was really innocent. I wasn't doing nothing but trying to go to sleep, which leads to the sexualization of childhood curiosity. That's a whole nother show. We ain't even talk about that today. But there is a curiosity that children have about their sexual bodies and their parts, and their part don't look like my part. You know, that there's a cartoon with a little boy and a little girl. And he was like, show me yours, I'll show you mine. You know, now we got a whole new show me yours, show you mine, because people are being who they feel their spirit is as opposed to what they were born with. So then that's a whole nother level, right? You know, I have a lovely son named Crimson who helped me through that process and understanding the trans community a little better, and understanding you actually feeling like I'm born with a girl parts, but I'm a boy, and you just manifest it. And there's a manifestation to it. You know what I'm saying? There's no shame attached to that. If that's what you believe in your spirit and your soul, and that's what you know, the voices told you to be, that you were, be your full self, baby. You know, don't let other people push you into being what you don't feel like you are, and what spirit told you that you are. Because God is not some dude that's telling you how to be. Spirit is what you hear, your inner self. And if your inner self feels different than what your outer self is appearing, who am I to judge that? Who am I to judge that? That is not my place. Not my place. I'm accepting and love everybody, but I'm learning. I'm learning what meanings and things are, you know, as I get older, because I'm from a different generation. And a lot of this is new to me, and I slip with the pronouns and all of the things. That's why I don't do pronouns, because I might not remember my own. Omi is my pronoun. With love. You can call me he, she, they, them, jackass. As long as you do it with a loving spirit and coming from a place of love, I'm here for it. Because a word doesn't mean anything other than what the English people that wrote the dictionary say it means. Anyway, I'm on a tangent. And fear. The last example of your shadow aspect is fear. And we all know about fear. Fear is crippling. Fear is crippling. Fear is the root of shame, judgment, because you're only judging some stuff you don't know. You know what I mean? I love who I love, how I love. Their body parts don't matter, because I'm going to love them anyway. I ain't trying to make a child. I'm 53 years old. I don't care about any of that. You know what I'm saying? And if I want to have a child, I get a man and have a child. Whatever. But, you know, judgment of being queer and judgment of loving somebody that looks like you, or somebody that, you know, looks totally different than you, or loving, you know, it does, none of it matters. I love the spirit and the energy and the heart and the healing of the people that I love. You know, we all on this trajectory to try to be the biggest, highest, best version of ourselves. Despite all of this stuff, I don't care what happened. I don't care what happened in our lives. I don't care. You know, I love who I love. And we would all get to a better place if, one, we get to the shadow self and know why we have these biases and, you know, idiosyncrasies about people, you know, and where their biases come from, all of the stereotypes. And, you know, black people were animals. We were considered animals. I'm not an animal. I'm smarter than the average bear. You know what I'm saying? But to white people, at one time in history in the United States, and hell, globally, because that's how we got here, we were animals. Because we didn't speak their language, and we had darker skin, and we had kinky hair, and we had, or no hair, and we, you know, lived a very simple, holistic, esoteric, natural life. You know? And I feel like, you know, we make judgments about who people are based on those things. I judge white people every time I'm in their presence. I try to work on myself to not feel triggered by it, but I'm judging you thinking you judging me. And it becomes a defense. It becomes okay, I'm gonna get you before you get me, because you're not about to disrespect me. You're not about to, look at me as anything other than a child goddess of the spirit universe, whatever, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't make me better. It just makes me aware, White people will look at me, strong black woman, and feel intimidated. And I'm a marshmallow. I'm a love bug. If you got it for me, I got it for you, right? We have all these notions, and I might have told this story before, but it's such a relevant story in my life. I was in Texas. I lived in Houston, Texas. I went into a bead store. Now, a bead store is pretty much the girliest place you can kind of go, right? There's all these women, all these little old ladies in there to make jewelry, and it was really cute. And it was in this like elderly neighborhood. So it was the place that the little old ladies would go to make their beads and stuff. So I go in there looking for a specific crystal bead. I think it was like ruby zoe rare, and I knew that they would have it, right? So go in the store. The person that's working in the store goes to the back to find it, because it's like he had to find it. In walks this huge white man in some Wrangler jeans, a cowboy hat, and it was like this Confederate flag belt. I immediately got scared, because it's just me and him, and the store is tiny, right? And he looks agitated. His face is all red, right? He goes, "You work here?" So, bougie black woman in my brain goes, do I look like, I didn't say it, but in my mind, I'm like, do I look like I work here? No, I don't work here. I'm coming here shopping just like you. Right? Because you're not about to scare me, because I'm having this fear of white men. And I saw Pulp Fiction, that I was having Bing Rain flashbacks in my head. I was like, okay, there's one door between me and him. And I don't even know where all this fear came from. This man was just in the store. So I was like, no, I don't work here. The guy's in the back. And I just like kind of scooted around him. And he turned around and he was like, well, maybe you can help me. I was like, oh, okay. I said, what do you need? What do you need like that? And he said, my wife is making this necklace, and she sent me here, and I got to get this, and this, and I don't know none of this stuff because I'm a cowboy, and this is not my thing, but I'm trying to be a good husband. Mississippi Burning went out of my head. Pulp Fiction went out of my head. And long story short, I found the stuff for him, because I'm a giver. And he turned out to be super nice. So he said, you're not from around here. He said, you're a Yankee. And I was like, yes, I am. And he said, I could tell. And he was like, I bet you never had any Texas brisket before, have you? I was like, why no? I have not had Texas brisket. And he's like, well, I have a ranch up the road up in past Pearland, and I got 100 heads of cattle, and, we barbecue. And he said, you got to come have some brisket. And I'm looking at this white man with this Confederate flag on his belt, cowboy hat, with all the stereotypes that I had made up about who he was. And I was like, you want me to come eat at your house? And he was like, I'm just trying to be a hospitable Texan. And my mind is like, okay. And I don't know what the hell the dude in the back was doing, because he seemed like he was back there for like 45 minutes. And so he says, yeah. He says, take down my address. He's like, if you're coming to Texas, you're a new Texan, you got to have brisket before you eat that bullshit that's out there at Papacitos or whatever. I said, okay. And he gave me the thing and then followed up, text me and said, we are cooking on this day. You can come and get you a plate, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I got sick. And I called him back and I said, I can't because I don't feel good. And I think he got offended and thought that maybe I was in my black feelings about going to his ranch way out in the middle of nowhere to eat brisket. Because I thought, I might be the brisket or something. I don't know. In my head, I made up all kind of stuff, right? Judgment is, man, listen. he turned out to be the nicest person and ended up, I always tell this story, but I never tell this part. He ended up being my client because I sold home alarm systems for ADT. And he called me and would send people to me when they wanted their alarm systems. And I was like, wow, homie, that's a lesson for your ass. And for him. Well, no, he was just being himself. He was not racist. He was completely like, so I asked him in the store, I forgot about this part. I said, so the belt buckle, I'm having an issue. I said, why? I said, so what does that mean to you? Like, as me as a black person, that is an offensive symbol. And he was like, I know. He said, and I saw your face when I came in, and I knew that that's what you were thinking. And he said, it's a belt that I was gifted 2 years ago. It was hanging in my closet, and I was out on the farm, and my son brought me clothes to put on and put that belt on the top because he couldn't find another belt to hold my pants up.
Wow.
He was like, I told my wife to throw it away, but it just keeps, it's like, he was like, it's like a bad penny. It just won't go away. I was like, Omi, you are so dumb. You have made up this whole narrative about this really nice man, and he is not thinking about you. Now, he could have been lying, I don't know, but it didn't feel like it. And he was really sincere, and he followed up, invited me, and he invited me more than once. I just never, the timing was never right, and I never made it out there. But I drove past his ranch, though. It was like South Fork. I was like, okay, it had like the circular driveway and the gate and all that. So anyway, that's about judgment. Yeah, I love that story because it taught me to not like have perceived judgments about people, because those of us that went to church, that's the most judgmental. You going to hell for everything that you do. Brianna, lovely Brianna, my assistant, who I could not do this without, said to me last time we had the gathering, she said, Miss Omi, I'm sorry, I didn't really wear my church clothes. I just look kind of casual. And I just laughed. I was like, girl, this ain't church. Because Soma's an old church woman. She had on a half shirt and she looked adorable. Who cares? Look, I got my Morticia Adams on today. And I had to put a pin because all my business, all the cakes, all the glory of God would come out. All of the goddess would come out, and y'all would all be blinded or turn to stone, depending on how you look at it. Oh, and then I was told, and what? It's beautiful. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So anyway, behaviors, we all know the behaviors that show up as your shadow self. Criticizing someone else that has your flaws. That's that reflection. It things that I'm rubber, you're glue. What I say about you or me bounces off you and it sticks to both of us because it's the same thing. This is okay. Guilty. I'm raising my hand because this one is me. Ooh, I hate it when I out myself. Oh, hush. Letting people know you're entitled. Or the princess syndrome. Like, I'm not. Yes. Oh, yes, Soma. I was going to say, you better raise your hands. Okay. Princess says.
It's letting people know you're entitled.
Any priests get fed first when we have ritual. So it's like church, it's like the repast. After we do all the spiritual work and the, ceremonies and stuff, there's food. And there is a certain group of women called Sode who actually take care of the priests, right? And they're in charge to know the hierarchy and not the hierarchy, but the order in which to kind of feed the people, right? Because, when you go, grandma and them get fed first, Then the, kind of adults. Hi, mama. I'm sorry. Then the kids get fed last. And don't be a teenager and jump in the line in front of an elder. Ooh, child, no, it does not work. So, we're supposed to get fed first. I'm a priest, senior priest, been a priest for longer than most in the organization that I'm in. I'm supposed to get fed with my godfather, so to speak, my mentor. Me seeing another priest who may have the same tenure as me get fed first, princess in me goes, I'm the senior priest. I'm supposed to get fed first. You know what I mean? Like, or here's a practical example. You're in your car. Your teenager is driving. Your teenager friend is getting picked up. Me, I like to be driven. So I like to sit in the back if I'm not driving sometimes. But I feel the entitlement if the teenager jumps in the front seat, but I had to be like, excuse me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's a practical way to think of that. Like, I'm supposed to be in the front. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is you doing? That's right. You know I'm supposed to sit in the front.
Okay, yeah, I feel that. I'm definitely like that about the front seat.
Who is you? In a polyamorous situation, everybody has to be equal. So who gets to sit in the passenger side when you're going somewhere? You gotta let down your ego and be like, okay, I'm gonna ride in the back. But I like riding in the back because I feel like I'm driven. I just feel like I'm being driven. Because I'm the oldest, I'm the oldest child, so I always felt like I got to do things ahead of my siblings because I'm the oldest. Like, I'm not, sit your little ass in the back. Mama said, I'm the oldest. You know what I'm saying? That's the entitlement thing. And feeling like, as a black woman, I feel like if I'm walking down the sidewalk and white women are walking towards me, this is an example, I'm not moving. You better move around me. That's so rude. Because what if it's an old 90-year-old white woman and she's struggling to walk? And then you're like, I'm not moving. Make her move around you. That's entitlement. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on my entitlement issues. See me. I am whatever. Another word I want to strike from my vocabulary. It's a hard one. No, just kidding. This is a big one. How many of us play the victim? That victim culture is real. Okay, now you're being judgmental. She's being judgmental because people raised their hand and some didn't. She's like, you was a victim just yesterday. Don't be outing us people like that. We do all do victimhood. And victim is a sticky wicket because sometimes you can be the victim and you know that someone had done you wrong. But if they don't know that they done you wrong, and it's only wrong based on your perceptions, things you've dealt with, then that's when you become the victim. Because they didn't, you project your victimization on them. Because they didn't know, they was just living their life. And you're like, oh, you hurt me. Unless somebody deliberately hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier today, I just be talking. There are things that I have said that have hurt people to their core. And I was like, you was hurt by that? But maybe something happened to them in their life that scarred them based on that thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be held down for nothing. My dad used to like to play the tickle monster and hold me down and tickle, and I peed on myself as a kid. I do not like to be held down. I don't like not being in control, first of all. And you ain't about to outman me. So, it's a real thing. It's a trigger. Playing victim. Sometimes playing victim is playing small to yourself and being a victim to yourself. Say that again. Sometimes playing victim means dumbing down or playing small to yourself so that you look smaller outwardly, so you can shrink. This is the shrinking violet syndrome. You shrink yourself. It's a hustle too. Shrink yourself so that you will get more attention, because people don't think you know as much as you do, so they give you more to try to help your ass when you really knew it all along. You just wanted the attention. Sorry. Sorry. These are the things that I think about in my overthinkingness in my brain at night when I can't sleep. Like, am I being a victim? Oh, damn, I did it again. Now I gotta call and apologize. Right. But I'm learning to not beat myself up, because this is how you know that you are healing from all of these things. If you can talk about a situation that used to cause you extreme grief and emotion, and you don't have no heat on it, meaning no emotion attached to it, it doesn't make you cry, you don't feel nothing, no twangs, no then you know you've healed past it. But if you think about it and you're like, that means you may still have some work to do and get to the root of why it still triggers you. After why, at 53 years old, if somebody is disrespectful to me, I take it so personal that I feel like there's something wrong with me. So, I had really critical parents. Everything was a breakdown of why I'm wrong. Not on purpose. My mom was wonderful. My dad was absent. But I had 4 stepdads to make up for it. And they all had their own issues, which led to me being like, I don't really trust men to stick around very long. They come in, they like me, they shine, and then they be like, your mother's too much for me. I'm going to be out over here. And I never see them again. And, my dad and I have rebuilt our relationship. When I turned 25, I cussed him out. We got a healing situation together, and we were able to move past it. But it was rough. It was really rough, because he would say he was coming to get me. My mom would dress me up, and he would not show. Or something would come up to take his attention away, or he forgot, or he fell asleep, or whatever it was. So in my relationships, if you tell me you're coming, I get ready, and you don't come and you don't call, that sends me right back to that age. Not good enough. Why don't he love me? Why don't he want me? What's wrong with me? Shadow self. Dig into where that comes from. And then when you recognize when you bring the unconscious to the conscious, you're able to know when it shows up in your relationships. And you have to start paying attention to how you move, right? Self-awareness, knowledge of self ascends you to enlightenment or ascension or all the hippy-dippy things that people say. It really just gets you into your God self. Your God self is learning how to deal with all the triggers, all of the things that you heard, all of the shadow things, and being able to shine light on it so you can see where it comes from, so you can say, oh, that was when I was da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I don't have to be like that anymore because I'm grown, or I'm healed, or it doesn't bother me anymore, or I'm not judging myself based on. So again, forgiveness journal. I forgive myself for judging myself as bad, as dirty, as fat, as lazy, as whatever. Gets it out of you onto the paper, and then you can burn it if you want to release it. I release that into the universe, and I am going to really try my best not to go back there. So from a metaphysical perspective, the shadow self is the ego. Same thing, different word. And ego doesn't look like somebody that's arrogant all the time. Because in my mind, Beyonce, got a big ego. You know that song? And she's bragging about, she walks like this because she can bag it up. You know what I mean? That's kind of arrogant. That's the song that I play when I'm feeling worthless. I rock that song because I'll be like, yep, I got an ego. I walk like this because I can back it up. Right? But I lost the whole train. Beyonce came in my head. I lost my whole train of thought.
Shadow self is your ego.
Shadow self is your ego. Thank you. That thing that you judge yourself, and like we said, the base of that is shame and judgment and fear. The biggest word of all is fear. So in the metaphysical world, your solar plexus governs your will, your ego, your self-worth, your self-esteem. The color of that chakra is yellow, which is my favorite color because that's the biggest area in my life that I've had to struggle with. So I wear yellow. I got yellow. I keep yellow in my life because, one, it's a happy color. It makes me feel good, and I feel bright and shiny. Shiny is my nickname. I like it. I ain't always used to be shiny, that's for sure. And so there are tools that you can use to activate your solar plexus. One, meditation. Doing the I am affirmations and all of the things that I am light, I am love, I am abundance, I am prosperity. And those things sound woo-woo, but those words really work. Abundance doesn't mean I have a lot of money. Abundance means I'm abundant in love, in all of the things that I want to manifest in my life come in abundance. The bag. The bag. Your bag. You know what I'm saying? My bag is big as hell. And I'm trying to make it bigger for the purpose of helping other people get their bag. You know, I want all of us to eat, as they say. You know, I want all of us to be abundant and prosperous and, you know, like live our dream. I'm living my dream right now, and I'm so grateful and thankful and feel so blessed and happy. My relationships are coming together. Part of my other shadow self was I had to deal with my mama issues, which meant I had to clean up my relationships with women, which in Ifa is the great mothers or the Iyami. And we have this, I told you about the women that take care of the priest called Sode. Part of the covenant of Sode is cleaning up your relationships with women so that the great mother spirits will bless you. You know, it's not about just giving an offering or having a goddess party or learning about your yoni and, you know, all the yoni. No. How's your relationship with your mama? How's your relationship with your aunties? How's your relationship with your girlfriends? How are you connecting with the divine feminine in yourself and other people? That's how you get, you know, that's how you tap into fixing that little girl in me that needs nurturing. You know what I'm saying? I know that if I'm cranky as hell when I don't eat. Oh, hush. Because I'm one a day eat people. If I haven't eaten, and my cranky, I try not to be mean cranky. I'm more emotional cranky, and I'm just like, let me just sit here and breathe deeply so I don't go off and say something I didn't mean, or my nose get to flaring. You know, I got a nose ring right here because I'm towards the bull. That bull comes out, I'd be like, it's real. It's so real. But, you know, being able to cool and calm that energy down myself before I go blah and project it on everybody else, that's when you know you healing. That's how you open up that solar plexus chakra and do those I am statements to manifest all of the things in your life that you want. My sister Soma is trying to manifest some things in her life. So she put on the shirt that has the name of the place, I ain't gonna say it, that she's trying to manifest in her life. They're simple. Like these things are super simple. This healing stuff sounds real deep, but it's real simple. You just have to have the fortitude to like not back down from yourself and be like, you know what? I'm about to get this bag. And like think about it, and you know, God meets you at the point of action, because you can't say, ooh, I'm gonna get this bag. You can be on the couch not doing anything, watching TV, unless you let TV inspire you. Before I come on here, I watch Iyanla. I put Fix Your Life on because that is my master teacher, and she changed my life. I will always sing her praises. People say what they want, but I watch her show, And it encourages me to remember the things that she taught me about my ego, shadow self, how to fix it, what modalities to use, little, tactics, because she's one of those people that keeps spirituality practical. You know what I'm saying? And not beat you up for being who you are. She has the most ratchet people on her show sometimes. I'll just be like, you are so angry. They're so angry at themselves, and they just be, just damaged and traumatized. God bless her, because she can get with them and break them down and build them right back up. That's what I aspire to be. Thank you, Mama Iyana. Before I do that, I gotta do that to myself. I'm just about there. Just about there. Still got some things to work through, and so does she. I have seen her cuss. Woo! You do not want an Iyana cussing out. Because Rhonda, her real name is Rhonda. I'm sorry, Iya, I'm just like outing you. Her name is, she'll tell you. I ain't saying nothing she didn't say on TV. Rhonda will come out and Rhonda will read you, and she's a lawyer, so she cuts deep. Y'all seen her, not on my watch. She get in their face. She don't care if it's man, woman. He could be 400 pounds and 6'10". What? So anyway, I watch her because she motivates me and she gives me tools to be able to get through my stuff so I can come here and tell y'all about all my craziness. So hopefully the goal is you hear all my stories and hear all my things, and you don't make the same dumbass mistakes that I made in this life. That's my whole goal. With my son, things that show up in him that I saw in my life, I was like, ooh, let me tell him about this, because he might not know this part of his DNA. Let me just let you know that there are times when you will check all the way out, and you will cut people off, and then you'll look up 2 years later and you'll run into somebody and you have checked them out, and they was going through some stuff trying to get in touch with you, and you didn't call them back, and now they're hurt because that's something I did. So that's what parenting to me is. But you also got to parent yourself. You know when you're doing some dumb bullshit. You know when you're doing something that's out of order for yourself. Learn how to be like, okay, Omi, why are you playing the victim in this conversation? You know that you were just as guilty as doing whatever it was that got y'all to this place. And then be like, okay, I'm sorry. I ain't mean it. You're right. You're right. Ooh, that's so hard to say. It is so hard to say, you're right. Because we do not want to be wrong. And Ifa, there is no right or wrong. There just is. Just is means even if I do something that is deemed wrong or bad or evil, it got me to a place in my life to help me elevate, because you can't learn about your bullshit unless you do it. And you don't know what it is because it's based on your childhood. It's based on something you had no control over learning, that you ingrained in yourself and you carried with you until you became adult and started like doing dumb stuff. So let yourself off the hook. Let yourself off the hook. Yes, you did that thing. Yes, you lied, cheated, stole, was petty, ran your mouth, was jealous, spit venom on somebody who you knew was hurting just because you was mad. You know when you do it, just be gentle with yourself to be like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, say it audibly to yourself, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then the person that you do it to, be like, you know what? I was in my bullshit. I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean it. And I was drunk, which added to the, alcohol. Whew, alcohol is a hell of a drug. It will make you say some stuff and you be like, where did I learn that word? Liquid courage. Yeah, it's a drug. It's medicine. It's medicine if you use it as medicine. I have gin on my altar because it's a spiritual energy, and it brings whatever spirit you got with you when you started drinking is the spirit you gonna project. If you use it as medicine, because alcohol is a calming, kind of takes that edge off. Have one drink, not 10. Know what alcohol works and don't work. I cannot drink tequila. It is a fact. Tequila turns me into a green-eyed monster.
That's me, a dark liquor.
I'm either fighting. Okay. Anyway, y'all know the rest of that phrase. So I don't mess with tequila. It brings out my dark side, so I don't do it. I ask you. You say dark liquor. Not all dark liquor is the same, because I love whiskey and bourbon. It gives me like a really grounded. And if you think about alcohol for its medicinal purposes, it's made out of grain. So it has a grounding effect to you if you drink it for a purpose. If you feel an anxiety, people they start drinking because they feel anxious about something, or they feel like nervous about something. They don't want to acknowledge it. I'm going to just have a drink. Some people just drink because everybody else is drinking. That was me. I was a social drinker until I started appreciating alcohol and wine and what it tasted like, what different wines were, what different grapes were. You know, I'm bougie. You know, we went to the winery and all that stuff. And then I learned about whiskey, Christy Brown. And whiskey, we catered the whiskey festival. And I tried whiskey. I was like hooked. I was like, ooh, this feels nice and warm in my chest. I'm feeling all juicy and sensual and, can talk to some people and stuff. I'm all persuasive. And then the ego kicks in. You like, ooh, that makes me feel that way. I want to feel even more of that way. Keep drinking. And the sensual sexual turns into, I want to take you home. Turns into sloppy drunk auntie in the club, and you're 53 years old in the club with 20-year-olds talking about, ooh, you so is cute. Oh my God. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because when you get over 40, this might be my experience, and most of the women, my peers, 40 to plus, we forget sometimes that we're 40 plus. And that 25-year-old friend of your son's comes by and hugs you, and you're like, ooh, child, no. I'm still a woman, baby. Don't do it to yourself. Please, God. And we forget that we are like auntie, grandma, and they looking at us like, auntie, oh, wrinkly self. Or not. Or not. My partner is 7 years younger than me. We met when he was 19. I'm just saying. Or not. But do it with integrity. And consent is always good. Okay, I'm going on a dark turn. Let me stop. Let me bring it back to spirit. That's my shadow self. We working through it. I'm working with myself. I have a youthful exuberance and a youthful spirit, and I attract people that are younger than me. And I can relate to them because people that are older than me are still stuck in 1986 when we graduated high school, not only in their fashion, but in the old concepts and ways that we were raised to believe. Most people 50 plus are still back in 1986. I'm not. I'm progressive. I have a 25-year-old son who teaches me everything I need to know about young life and Migos and all the things, right? I don't know where Migos came. They're not like my favorite. I don't even really like them. But I like Cardi B and Offset. They're so cute. After she checked that ass, after he cheated on her, let's be clear, and he did all the things to make up, now they're good. That's how relationships go. Let me tell you, we could tell some stories about that kind of stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in his shadow self. I'm going to keep going back to it. Trying to get love outside of his marriage. Because he needed that validation. Or he needed that something that whatever Cardi was busy, then whatever it was. Jay-Z, same thing. Look, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce.
Anybody can get it.
I would make Beyonce my wife while you playing. Look, she's smart, gifted, talented, all the things. She is the Michael Jackson of this younger generation. And he cheated on her. Now, if you're the finest woman in the world and your husband cheats on you, that's got to be some self-esteem, gut-wrenching. Like, I know she went through the whole dark night of the soul. Hence, Lemonade. That's Beyonce's shadow self. That Lemonade album, she said,
I was ready to fight Jay-Z. I was like, yo.
her song said, wait a minute.
Okay.
You ain't fucking with no average bitch, boy. She knows she's a goddess. She was like, tonight I'm fucking up all your shit. Beyonce said that. You know what I'm saying? And then came out with, I ain't sorry. I ain't sorry. And then her sister, whooped Jay-Z's ass in the elevator. And they told all that story. Why? So we could all learn from it. Because Jay-Z then had to eat crow and come out and be like, fo, fo, fo. Family first. That was the hit song. Family first. Are you crazy? Family first.
The Carter album.
And she let him know, I don't need you. She said, all this, we can bounce on the next one. And I was like, oh, Beyonce said she was about to, ooh, ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real. Even if it was fabricated, it taught a lesson. That's what I'm saying. They let us see that part of their life, and look at them now. They went through counseling. They had 2 more babies. You know what I'm saying? He got his a whole life together. And even if he didn't, she was like, don't you shame me publicly. Jay-Z, Sean Carter. Right? So there's lessons to be learned in all of this. This is how you keep spirituality practical. It's not some pie in the sky, read your Bible, say your asana, or do your asanas and your mudras, and you sit and pray and sit in silence and, you know, have Bible study. That's not what this is. This is about getting to the God self that is in you. That stage is strong as hell. Getting to the God self that is in you and knowing that you are all that you need to heal yourself, to come to a higher level of your own existence, to get past all of your own bullshit. That's heaven. When you can no longer live in fear, that is heaven. Hell is staying in that place, staying 6 years old and letting your 6-year-old self run your life. You having temper tantrums or letting your 16-year-old self run your life right after you lost your virginity, and then everybody was talking about it and you was in high school. We go back to those things that scarred us. First traumas, right? In high school, I was a weirdo. But I'm in every yearbook picture. But those white people were like, how are you in every yearbook picture? I was like, because I was on the yearbook staff. Who you think was taking the pictures? I'm going to make sure I'm in all of them, even though I felt like the outcast. It looked like I was the most popular girl in school. You know, because my ego needed that. Craziness. And that shows up in my need for attention, my need to be seen, my need for validation, my need for, you know, all of that. That's how you start to heal the shadow self, shining light to these things, meaning acknowledging that you have them. You can't fix nothing if you don't say that you got it. And, you know, I'm projecting mine on you, so that means I gotta look in, you know, what is it? Niggas that live in glass houses, don't throw no stones. So, solar plexus. In order to fix this, you want to do solar plex work, which I had these little cards because I was trying to carry around all these crystals, and I'm not the strongest person in the world, so I was hurting my back. So now I have these lovely cards that have crystals on them. So for solar plexus, citrine, anything yellow. Citrine, this says bring in the light. It's also a money stone. It attracts money energy. It's an abundance stone. I tuck them in my bra, and I also have little pouches I carry. I got crystals everywhere. Tiger's eye. Overcome your fears. Tiger's eye, and I'll put these on the Gathering Facebook page. Tiger's eye is a protection stone. Eye of the tiger. It's kind of literal, figurative, whatever. But it is an energy. It creates like a force field, a literal energetic force field around you to keep darkness out. It's a very masculine stone too, so it'll bring up your more masculine energy if you wear it for too long. So don't get aggressive, because that's also the solar plexus, where you're trying to flex on people, right? Because you're not getting your way. You're like, I'm gonna get my way by hook or crook. I'll either be self-centered with it or I'll be self-serving with it, but either way I'm going to get my way. Golden healer quartz. This one's kind of hard to find. They have it at the Vajra in Seattle, if you're in Seattle. But golden healer quartz is a road opener stone. So if you're trying to manifest some stuff in your life, carry a piece of this around. And here's a little juju for you. When you get to a crossroads, because the spirit of Eshu, the spirit of the crossroads, sits literally at the crossroads and is the door opener for all of your manifestations to come to pass, right? Drop 21 pennies at a crossroad and pray for what you want. And don't stop. Just keep going. Like I'll take 21 pennies when I'm driving, and I've gotten out of the habit. I really got to get back to it. I used to do it religiously. I had a cup of pennies. 21 pennies, count them out. When you get to the middle of an intersection, just drop them out the car window and pray for Eshu to open the way for whatever you're trying to open the way to. I also say the prayer that I am paying a toll. I'm paying a toll for the ways for my life and blessings to be open. I'm paying the toll for myself. I'm paying the toll for those who don't know that they need to pay a toll. And I'm paying a toll for those who don't have it to pay. And I say that's paying it forward, like opening blessings for other people. And then you're opening up your own energy to have the things that you're praying for manifest. And if you do it on why did I say that word? Ritualistic, consistent way, then you'll start to notice that things are starting to manifest. This is not a solar plexus stone, but it's really good at lightening your energy when you're feeling that heaviness. Angel aura quartz. So it's clear, but it has like little reflective mica on it. See? So that lightens your energy and connects you to the angelic energy in the universe. I do too. And then carnelian. Carnelian is a tricky stone. It can be for the solar plexus or for the sacral. It's for the lower chakras. But carnelian is your creativity stone, but it also gives you the confidence to carry through all the things that you're creating in your life, so you can carry that out. And then last I picked up selenite. You can get these really, really cheap. These clear your energy field. You just kind of sweep yourself with it, keep it in your house. Any stone's energy that you want to amplify, set it on top of the selenite, and it multiplies the energy out, because this stone, I want to say it has lightning energy in it, so it amplifies electricity and energy out. Let's see. We got time for a quick meditation. I hope y'all got something from this. I just feel like I be up here just running my mouth. I'm so super grateful that the people that showed up. And look, I'm going to tell y'all, in TV land, YouTube, Facebook, whatever lands, you should come down here and be in this energy. Look, they made me a set. I feel so honored that, they were like, you're going to be outside. I was like, oh, I actually like this.
We got somebody on the live from Kenya right now.
From Kenya. Welcome. Hi, Shimano from Kenya. Isn't it like midnight there or something?
Oh, no.
Okay. I appreciate, Jay-Z, one of my favorite artists, says you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. So I appreciate it, and I'm so grateful for all the love and the, patience with our technical issues. We have a producer now. Tarek is like making me look good, making me sound good. Hey, thank you, Tarek. I appreciate you. Tarek, what's your last name? Because it's Sahali, like Haile Selassie? Sahali. Where did I get Selassie from? Tariq Selassie. Now I can't even say it. Now I want to say Selassie. Sahali. Tariq Sahali. Shameless plug. Let me tell you. So him and his wife make these popsicles. Baby, they have a watermelon cayenne popsicle that is the best. Is my new favorite thing. And they have their. You want to give your own shameless plug about the popsicles? Mine Pop popsicles, right? Frozen offerings, novelties. Ma and Pop's frozen novelties. Yes, look for them at the pop-ups. Look at them at the street fairs and like Wanawari. Find them on Instagram. They have an Instagram. You have to try these because they're like really sweet but not sugary. Like, you know, I like bomb pops from as a kid, but this watermelon spicy situation, super good. And you know, I could eat like 10 of them and be okay because they're made with juice. Meditation. So this is at the portion where, if you was here, what happens at the gathering stays at the gathering, because they copyright blocked me on YouTube last week because I played Ramsey Lewis's music during my meditation. So you guys don't get the meditation part. We get to do that here without y'all. So thank you for watching. Thank you for paying attention. I'm super grateful. I hope you got something from this. I give thanks to Lily Lou Morgan, who has been with me all day. That's my grandmother. And Cynthia Louise King, my mama, who always shows up and who continues, even in her passing, to teach me lessons about myself and how to be a better me. Not because of what her shortcomings, but because of what she ingrained in me spiritually. So I give thanks and praise to all of you guys, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.